a long, long time ago, there was this chicken, but it was different to normal chickens. It had blue feathers, and it could fly, because normal chickens can't really fly, they just flutter a little bit. And this blue chicken's name was... What was his name? Say it?
Benny Blue.
His name was Benny Blue. And Benny Blue, he lived on a farm just outside the city. And he'd, every morning, he'd fly up onto the roof and he'd look around to make sure there was no mean hawks in the sky, because the hawks used to try to eat Benny Blue. And then when he could see there was no hawks around, he'd fly up into the sky as high as he could fly and fly all the way into the city. And then he'd look for people he didn't like to poo on them. And one day when he was flying and he was looking for someone to poo on, he saw... Who did he see?
Maddie.
He saw Maddie.
No.
And then what did he do?
And pooed on Maddie. She was terrified. She ran around in circles going, "Ah! Ah!"
Stop it. And what colour was the poo?
Green.
And Maddie was like, "Oh my god, I'm covered in green poo," but it wasn't just regular poo, because Benny Blue wasn't a regular chicken, it was magic green poo that came out of Benny Blue.
No, it was blue poo. It was blue.
Oh, it was a blue poo.
It was green and blue poo. No.
But you know what it did? It gave Maddie magic powers. And Maddie started to grow feathers on her arms, just like Benny Blue. And then she started to flap her arms, and she started to lift off the ground, and she was going, "Oh my god, I can fly." And she flapped right up to Benny Blue, and they were flying next to each other, and she flew up to Benny Blue and said, "Did you just poo on me?" And he said, "Yeah, I pooed on you, but I was only so you could get magic powers." And Maddie was like, "Oh, okay. So what do we do now?" And Benny Blue said, what did he say? What did he say?
I know. Benny Blue said, "You needed magic powers, because I'm bothered of pooing on people. I just want to poo in a regular toilet like real humans do."
And he said that Maddie had to poo on the people. So Maddie flew around with her blue feathers, and her feet started to turn into chicken feet. And then slowly, as she went up in the air and flew, she started to look more and more like Benny Blue, the blue chicken. And then one day when she was flying around, who'd she see on the ground, Maddie?
A duck.
She saw a duck.
No, she saw Sophia.
She saw Sophia. So what did she do?
She pooped on Sophia.
And
And it was yellow, gold poop.
gold poo. But she didn't turn into a chicken. She got this gold poo on her, and it turned her...
My head turned into a golden egg.
And you had a golden egg.
My teeth turned into little pebbles of gold.
And then...
And my eyes were gold, my nose was gold, my eyebrows were gold, and my lips were gold, and my tongue was gold, and my hair was gold.
And then the bank man, because she was outside the bank, and the bank man seen her and went, "There's a golden egghead girl. Let's get her and put her in the bank vault." And then Sophia looked at the bank man, and the bank man looked at her, and Sophia went, "No!" and started running, but her head was too big. It was like too heavy, and she kept tripping over, and the bank man was chasing her. But the bank man was really fat, and she kept running and running, and then she tried to hide in the drain, and she jumped in the drain, and her legs and body went in, but her head wouldn't fit in the gap.
And then a duck came along. Ducks don't really fly, so a duck flied. So when the duck flied, it pooed on Sophia again. It was blue. When it was blue poo, she turned into another duck. The other duck didn't poo. It just weed on people. People think it was rain, but it was actually pee. So when them smelled them in the shower, them smelled pee on them.
And then
Suddenly, something flew over Maddie. Guess what it was?
What?
It was a purple seagull! Ha 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 ha! And then suddenly...
But you know what? The purple seagull was actually made of purple bubblegum. It was so yummy.
And then suddenly it just flew over and Maddie started biting it. And I was like, with the golden egg, I was like, no!
But Maddie-
Mumbling my head back and forward. And I said to Maddie, you can't eat birds. That's mean.
But Maddie's a bird herself.
We can't eat birds and birds. If you're a bird, you can't eat birds.
So what's Benny Blue doing now?
Well, Benny Blue kept on flying over people like Ashley and Ellie and definitely Maddie and Daddy and Sarah and Mum